Very good morning to all of you. Okay, so today we'll start the chapter 6, that is tissues. Okay, with part 1. Okay, see students, this is very small chapter. Okay, we can finish within 2 or 3 lectures. We can finish this chapter. Okay, very small chapters. Only theories is there. Okay, so theoretical part, actually this chapter contains more theoretical parts. Okay, completely theoretical. Okay, this is the part 1. Now in case of tissue, okay, we'll going to understand or we'll going to learn the different types of tissue present in plants and in animals. Okay, the tissues are divided into 2 types, that is plant tissues and animal tissues. So before starting the division of tissue in plants and animals, first we'll understand what is the meaning of tissue. Okay, so the meaning or definition of tissues, okay, the tissues are arise from cells. Tissues are arise from cells which is having similar origin and similar function. Okay, is known as tissue. See, we have understood that cell, by the group of cell, the tissues are formed. By the group of cell, the tissues are formed. From the group of tissues, organs are formed, and from the group of organs, body is formed. Okay, so tissues are the group of cells. Tissues are the group of cells, okay, which is having similar origin. That means they are arise from the similar type of cell. Okay, the group of cells which is arise from the similar type of cell and having the same function is known as tissue. Tissues are arise from this cell, okay, and similar type of cell. Okay, tissues is arise from similar type of cell. That means they having the similar origin and they having the similar function. Okay, is known as tissue. Clear? So from the cell, the group of cell, tissues are formed. From the group of tissue, organs, and from the group of organ, body is formed. Okay, now the tissues are divided into the 2 parts. So we'll see these 2 parts, but before that, first there is one important fact: the study of tissue. Okay, the study of tissue in a branch. Okay, or we can say the study of tissue, the science, the branch of science in which the study of tissue takes place is known as histology. Is known as histology. Okay. See, the one mark question can be asked, or in form of numerical it can be asked. What is the study of tissue is known? Okay. So the study of tissue, the branch of science in which the study of tissue takes place is known as histology. Clear? Now we'll see the types of tissue. Okay, so tissues are divided into 2 types. First is plant tissue and animal tissue. Okay, plant tissue and animal tissue. Now the question is arises that what is the difference between plant tissue and animal tissue? Okay, you can have the question. First question, why the tissues are divided, and if the tissues are divided in form of the plant tissues and animal tissues, so what is the difference between plant tissue and animal tissue? Why they are divided? Okay, so the difference between plant tissue and animal tissue is that in case of animals, the animals can be moved from one part to the another. Okay, from one place to the another place. The animals can be moved from one place to another place, but the plant cannot move from one place to the another place. This is the difference. It means here the tissue can move, okay, from one place to the another place, but here the tissue cannot be moved. Therefore, they are divided into 2: plant tissues and animal tissue. Animal tissues can transfer or can move from one part to the another part. That means the tissues present in the animals are movable and the rigid tissue, the plant tissues are rigid in nature. Okay, so we'll see the more division of tissues, that means plant tissues and animal tissues. We can understand the description, or we can understand the division of plant tissue and animal tissue by one flow chart. Okay, so pay attention here. First, tissues are divided into two parts. Tissues are divided into two parts: plant tissues and animal tissues. Okay. Now the plant tissues are further divided. The plant tissues are further divided into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Okay, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue are of three types: apical, intercalary and lateral. Okay, meristematic tissues are of three types: apical, intercalary and lateral. Permanent tissues are of two types. Permanent tissues are of two types. Okay, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Okay, now the simple permanent tissues are of three types. The simple permanent tissues are of three types. Okay, the simple permanent tissues are of three types. First is parenchyma, second is collenchyma, and third is sclerenchyma. Okay, complex tissue is of two types, that is xylem and second is phloem. Okay, xylem is, the function of xylem is the transportation of water and mineral. Okay, transportation of water and mineral. And the function of phloem is the transportation of food. Transportation of food. Okay, see, plant tissues is divided into two types, that is meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Okay, so meristematic tissues are of three types: apical, intercalary, lateral. Permanent tissues is of two types, that is simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Complex permanent tissues are of two types, that is xylem and phloem. See, you may get confused between xylem and phloem. That is, xylem performs the food transportation of water and mineral, and phloem performs the transportation of food. In examination, students are confusing between the xylem and phloem. They get confused. Okay, xylem performs the transportation of water or food. Phloem performs the transportation of food or water. Okay, so it is easy to remember. See, Z for xylem and Z for jal. Okay, in Hindi, okay, water is known as jal. Okay, Z से xylem, Z से jal. Okay, ऐसे याद रखना आप लोग, Z से xylem and Z से jal. Okay, by this way you can remember. And first is phloem and first is food. Ph for phloem and ph for food. Okay, this way you can remember. Now animal tissue is further divided into four parts. Okay, epithelial tissue, okay, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, okay, muscular tissue, and finally the most important nervous tissue. Okay, so this all topic, okay, this is the complete flow chart of this chapter. This all topics each and every we have to study it in detail. Okay, so my suggestion is draw this flowchart in your notebook and remember this as it is, because any of the part in case of MCQ can be asked. For example, the question is apical tissue is a part of dash, meristematic, permanent, animal or simple. So the answer is apical tissue is a part of meristematic tissue. The question can be parenchyma is a part of which tissue? Okay, is a part of which tissue? Meristematic tissue, permanent tissue, animal tissue or connective tissue. So parenchyma is a part of simple permanent tissue. C. The question can be sclerenchyma is a part of which, or the question can be xylem is a part of which tissue? Meristematic tissue, permanent tissue, simple tissue or animal tissue. So the answer is xylem is a part of complex permanent tissue. So my suggestion is draw this flowchart as it is in your notebook and try to remember each and every part, each and every division in detail. Okay, so I am giving you 2 minutes. Okay, you can pause the video and draw this chart. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Now we will see each and every part in detail one by one. See, this is very small. Okay, we can finish within 2 or 3 lectures. So first we are going to see the plant tissue in detail. Then we are going to see animal tissues. So our first topic for today is plant tissue. Okay, so in case of plant tissue there are 2 parts. First is meristematic and second is permanent. Okay, now what is the meaning of meristematic? And there are 3 parts of meristematic which we are going to see in detail. So plant tissue, in case of plant tissue there are 2 parts, meristematic and permanent. See, what is the meaning of meristematic? Meristematic means to divide or to grow. See, what is the difference between meristematic? If anyone asks you a question, what is the difference between meristematic tissue and permanent tissue? So you can say in meristematic tissue there is a continuous division takes place. In case of meristematic tissue there is a complete division takes place. Therefore it is the name meristematic means to divide and to grow. If the tissues are divided, that means, or if the cells are divided, that means they are growing. Okay, we have seen in the chapter cell in detail. If the cell divides continuously, that means they are in the process of growing. So meristematic means to divide or to grow. Okay, permanent means there is no division takes place. There is no cell division takes place in permanent. Clear? So we are going to understand meristematic tissue in detail. Okay. So in case of meristematic to divide or grow, now there are 2 types of division takes place in meristematic. Okay, mitosis and second is meiosis. Okay, mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis division or meiosis division. What is mitosis? So mitosis means, for example, this is a parent cell, or for example, a parent cell is divided into 2 daughter cells. Here also a parent cell is divided into 2 daughter cells. Okay, this is parent cell and this 2 is daughter cell. Now parent cell is divided into daughter cells and parent cell is divided into daughter cell. Then what is the difference between mitosis and meiosis? So in case of mitosis, if there are 46 chromosomes are present, okay, the 46 chromosomes are divided into 46 and 46 only. Okay, 46 and 46. Parent cell also having the 46 chromosomes and the daughter cell also having the 46 and 46 chromosomes. Then what is in case of meiosis? In case of meiosis, the 46 chromosomes in parent cell is divided into 23 and 23. This is the main difference between mitosis and meiosis. This is the main difference between mitosis and meiosis. Parent cell having the 46 chromosomes is divided into the daughter cell, and the daughter cell also have the 46 and 46 chromosomes. Okay, in meiosis, 46 chromosomes in parent cell, they are divided into half. Okay, they are divided into half, that 23 and 23. So माइटोसिस को हिंदी में बोलते हैं समसूत्री विभाजन एंड मियोसिस को हिंदी में बोलते हैं अर्धसूत्री विभाजन. समसूत्री, सम मीन्स इक्वल, सम मीन्स इक्वल. ओके, सम मीन्स इक्वल. सो 46 and 46 एंड मियोसिस in Hindi it is known as अर्धसूत्री विभाजन, that means half. Okay, so parent cell is divided into 23 and 23, that means half. अर्धसूत्री विभाजन. Okay, अर्धसूत्री विभाजन. This is समसूत्री विभाजन, that means sum means equal and विभाजन means division, equal division. Okay, mitosis, in case of mitosis there is equal division of chromosomes, and in case of meiosis there is a half of division of chromosomes. Clear? So meristematic tissue. In case of what is the meaning of meristematic? Anybody ask you question first, what is meristematic? Meristematic is division or growth. In case of meristematic, two type of meristematic division, that is mitosis and meiosis. Okay, now I hope you have understood mitosis and meiosis. Now see, this division you will going to study in detail in the class 11. In class 11, the mitosis division and meiosis division, there is a full chapter on mitotic and meiotic division. Okay, the chapter name is cell division in bio, but for class 9 this much information is sufficient for you. Okay, now meristematic tissues are of three types. We are going to understand meristematic tissues are of three types. Okay, one more important thing, the region of plant where the meristematic tissue, the region of plant where meristematic tissue is present, the region of plant where meristematic tissue is present is known as growth region of the plant. Very, very important question. Okay, the region of plant where the meristematic tissues are present is known as growth region of the plant. Why growth region of the plant? Because meristematic itself means division and growth. Okay, then we are going to see each and every part of meristematic tissue in detail. Okay, so meristematic tissues is divided into three parts, as we know that. First is apical, second is intercalary, okay, and third is apical, intercalary and lateral. Okay, by one diagram we can understand it better. Okay, apical, suppose this is a part of any plant. So okay, so the apical, see this is the, suppose this is a part of plant. Okay, these are the roots. So apical means the root and this is the shoot. Shoot means apex. Okay, so the root and shoot part is growing in size by the tissue which is known as apical tissue. That means at the root part and the apex part, the tissues are present which are known as apical tissues. Apical tissues. Okay, and there are some intercalary region in the plant. Okay, some intercalary region in the plant. Okay, so here the tissues are present which are known as intercalary tissue. And some part of the plant means the lateral, at the lateral surface of the plant, the tissues are present which are known as lateral tissues. Okay, first I want to make you, okay, I want that you should make this diagram. By this diagram, if you remember this diagram, then you can write about the apical, intercalary and lateral. Apical, intercalary and lateral, you can write down the points. See, apical means at the apex and root, at the root and shoot part of the plant. Okay, apical tissues are present at the root and shoot means uppermost part of the plant, and at the root part the tissues which is present is known as apical tissues. At the internodal part, at the middle part, the tissues which are present are known as intercalary tissue, and at the lateral surface, at the side surfaces, okay, at the periphery surfaces, the tissues are present which are known as lateral tissues. Okay, so we'll see one by one in detail. So what is apical tissue? What is the meaning of apical tissues? So apical tissues are present at apex, okay, or at the top, and apex means shoot and root part of the plant. Okay, then if it is present at the root and shoot part, that means root are continuously growing and shoot is continuously growing. That means the main function of apical tissue is to increases the length of the plant. Okay, it increases the length, or we can say height of the plant. So in case of the plants in which the apical tissues are more developed, then the height of that plant will be very high. Okay, next is intercalary tissue. Okay, intercalary tissue means, suppose for example, intercalary tissues are the tissues which is present at the part. So we can say, suppose this is a plant and leaves. Okay, so one leaf, another leaf. So this part where the leaves is originated from the stem is known as node. Okay, this two part is known as node, and the distance between these two parts is known as internode. Okay, distance between these two is known as internode. Okay, so the tissues which is present at the internodal part, okay, between the nodes, the tissue which is present between two nodes. What is node? First, what is node? Node is a region where the leaves are grow from the stem. Okay, if the leaves are originated from the stem, that part is known as node. From the node, leaves are originated, and between the two nodes, the space is present which is known as internode. So intercalary tissues are the tissues which is present at the internodal part of the plant. At the internodal part of the plant, the intercalary tissues are present. Okay, and lateral tissues are the tissues which increases width of the plant. See, lateral tissues are present at the lateral surfaces of the plant. So it will increase the width. When these tissues grow, they will increase the width of the plant. Okay, so intercalaries are increases the internodal part. It increases or develop internodal part. Okay, it increases the height of the plant, it increases the internodal part of the plant, and it increases the width of the plant. Okay, so these are the meristematic tissue where the cell division, okay, takes place continuously. So apical tissues, intercalary tissues, and lateral tissues. Apical tissues are present at the shoot and the root part of the plant. That means it increases the height of the plant. Okay, or length of the plant, intercalary tissues is present between the two internodal part. Okay, so it increases or develops the internodal part of the plant, and lateral tissues is present at the periphery of the plant, so it increases the width of the plant. Okay, I hope you have understood the meristematic tissues in detail. So the next part is, after meristematic tissue, the next part is permanent tissues. Okay, the next part is permanent tissues. In case of plant, the part B is permanent tissues. Okay, what is permanent tissues? Permanent tissues are the tissues which lost the capacity or capability to divide. Okay, the tissues which lost the capability to divide, and they differentiated to perform various functions. This is the definition of permanent tissue. You can write the tissues which lost the capacity or capability to divide, the tissues which lost the capability to divide, and they differentiated to perform the various functions. Okay, so tissues which lost the capability to divide and they differentiated to perform the various functions are known as permanent tissues. Now, in case of permanent tissues, we have already seen that the permanent tissues are divided into simple permanent tissues. The permanent tissues are divided into simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. And in simple permanent tissues is again divided into three parts: parenchyma, second collenchyma, and third is sclerenchyma. Okay, and complex permanent tissues is divided into xylem and phloem. So we will see each and every part in detail. Okay, so simple permanent tissues. In case of permanent tissue, we are going to see the simple permanent tissues. Okay, simple permanent tissues. A part, simple permanent tissues. Okay, simple permanent tissues. So in case of simple permanent tissue, first we are going to understand parenchyma. So we can make a diagram of parenchyma. There are some tissues. This is like a structure of parenchyma. Okay, so the thin cell wall, the cell wall is very thin cell wall. Okay, now we can see some intercellular spaces. Okay, some intercellular spaces is present. See, these spaces are known as intercellular spaces. So we can write, in case of parenchyma, the point we can write: parenchyma, most abundant tissues in plant. मीन्स प्लांट में सबसे ज्यादा अमाउंट में जो टिश्यू फॉर्म होता है दैट इज पैरेंकाइमा. द मोस्ट अबंडेंट टिश्यूज इन प्लांट, इट इज द मोस्ट अबंडेंट टिश्यूज इन प्लांट. द पॉइंट बी इज दे हैविंग अ थिन सेल वॉल. Cell wall is very thin. The third point, in case of parenchyma, we can write they have dense cytoplasm. Dense cytoplasm means very thick cytoplasm they have. Okay, most abundant tissues, okay, in plant, thin cell wall, dense cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is very thin, sorry, very thick cytoplasm. Dense is thick cytoplasm, thick. Okay, and the point B is intercellular spaces are present. Intercellular spaces present. Okay, intercellular spaces present. And the function of parenchyma, what is the function of parenchyma? Storage of food. See, in case of parenchyma, you can write 3 or 4 points. First, you can make the diagram of parenchyma. Okay, the most abundant tissues, that means it is the most amount of tissues which is found in the plant is parenchyma. It is having a thin wall. It is having a dense cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is very thick. Okay, intercellular spaces are present. So, because of the intercellular spaces present, the function of the parenchyma is the storage of food. Okay. Second, we are going to see collenchyma. Second type of tissue we are going to see collenchyma. See, this chapter is theoretical chapter, so you have to learn each and every things. Okay, each and every point you have to learn. Okay. Second is collenchyma. After parenchyma, second is collenchyma. Now, collenchyma means collenchyma are the tissues which are present at the midrib. See, this is the leaf. This vein is the midrib, and this is margin. So, collenchyma are the tissues which are present at the midrib of the leaves and the margin of the leaves. Okay, midrib of the leaves and margin of the leaves. So, we can write in collenchyma the tissues present at midrib and margins of leaves. Midrib and margins of the leaves. Now, these tissues are thin at center and thick at corners. These tissues are thin at center and thick at the corners. Okay, we can make the diagram like this. Okay, the structure of collenchyma are hexagonal in shape. The structure of collenchyma are hexagonal in shape. Okay, hexagonal structure. Okay, we can make the diagram. Okay, hexagonal shape. So, hexagonal shape is present and they are thin at the corner but they are thick at the center. Okay, they are thick at the center. Center में बहुत thick होता है. And as you can see, there is no intercellular spaces are present. And one of the most important things, they present large central vacuoles. Okay, large central vacuoles are present. Vacuoles means holes are present. Large central vacuoles. Okay, so it is large central vacuole. Okay, so they are hexagonal structure. As you can see in the diagram, the point number C would be no intercellular spaces. No intercellular spaces. Okay, if there is no intercellular spaces, we can see. Okay, we can see if there is no intercellular spaces, though if intercellular spaces are present. Okay, if there is no intercellular spaces, so They are now see tissues are present at the midrib and margins of the leaves. They are thick at the center and thick at corner. What is the meaning of thick at the corner? So they are thick due to deposition of lignin. Okay, this name is very important. They are thick due to the deposition of lignin, and the main function of parenchyma, the function of parenchyma is, what is the function of parenchyma? The function of parenchyma is provide what is the function? The function is provide elasticity. The first function is provide elasticity to leaves. Okay, provide elasticity to leaves. Okay, and second is provide mechanical support to the plant. Provide mechanical support to the plant. Okay, this is about the parenchyma, and last is sclerenchyma. And the last is third, sclerenchyma. Okay, sclerenchyma, it is a dead tissue. Okay, it is a dead tissue, and it is dead because of deposition of lignin and suberin. These two names you have to understand, and you have to buy out these two names, lignin and suberin. Why the sclerenchyma is dead? The question can be asked, why the sclerenchyma is known as dead tissue? Because of the deposition of lignin and suberin. It is also provide mechanical support to the plant. Okay, so parenchyma, parenchyma and sclerenchyma we have seen. Okay, so this is all about the meristematic tissues. Okay, this is also not meristematic tissues, this is all about the simple permanent tissues. Okay, now we are going to see the complex permanent tissues. The complex permanent tissues we are going to see. Next part is complex permanent tissues. Complex permanent tissues. Okay, complex permanent tissues. Now we'll see what is complex permanent tissues. The complex permanent tissues are of two types, xylem and second is phloem. Okay, now first we are going to see the xylem in detail. Okay, xylem. So the xylem having the four parts. First is tracheids, second is vessels, third is xylem parenchyma, and fourth is xylem fibers. Okay, we are going to see each and every part in detail. Xylem having the four parts, that is tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. And one of the most important point, except xylem parenchyma, okay, all are dead. This one and this one. Okay, this is only living tissues in xylem parenchyma. These two are dead and this is dead. Okay, so except xylem parenchyma, all the tissues are dead tissues in xylem. Tracheids, vessel, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Okay, now we are going to see each and every part in detail. What is tracheids, what is vessel, what is parenchyma and fibers. So the first part of xylem is tracheids. Xylem का first part is tracheids. Okay, so tracheids are These are known as pits. Pits means holes. Okay, and this is known as okay. So the first part of xylem is the tracheids. Okay, xylem is the transportation. Xylem helps in the transportation of food and mineral. The first part of xylem is tracheids. Tracheids is a long tube-like structure, okay, which is having a tapering ends, okay, which is having a tapering ends, and it is having some amount of pits. That means holes are present. Okay, it is a dead tissue. Okay, it is a dead tissue. It is dead tissues, and if it is dead, so no cytoplasm is present. No cytoplasm is present. Okay, so tracheids is a long elongated tube-like structure which is having a tapering ends and which is having some pits. Okay, now second part is vessels. Okay, second part of xylem is vessels. Second part of xylem is vessels. Now vessels is tube-like structures which are also having many pits in that, which is having many elongated tube-like structure which is also having many pits. Now these vessels are arranged one above the other. The vessels are arranged, okay, they are arranged one above the other. They are arranged one above the other. Okay, they are arranged one above the other. So if they are arranged one above the other, that means they form pipeline. Okay, they form pipeline. So by that pipeline, the transportation of water and minerals would be very easy. Third part is xylem parenchyma, which is only the living tissue in the xylem. Which is only the living tissue in xylem. Third part is xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma. Okay. Like this, the structure of xylem parenchyma, and some amount of pits are also present in xylem parenchyma. The main function of xylem parenchyma is the storage of food. Okay, the main function of xylem parenchyma is the storage of food. Okay, and the fourth part of xylem is xylem fibers. The fourth part is xylem fibers. So it is dead. If it is dead, that means no cytoplasm is present. No cytoplasm is present. And third is it provide mechanical support. Okay, it provides mechanical support to the plant. So xylem fiber is dead, no cytoplasm is present, and provide mechanical support to the plant. That is all for the xylem. These four parts are present, and now we'll see in case of phloem. Okay, remember this: xylem provides or xylem performs the function of transportation of water and minerals. Now first is phloem, for phloem, and for food, transportation of food. Now phloem is also having four parts. The first part is sieve tube. Okay, sieve tube. Now sieve tubes. Second part is companion cells. Third part is sieve tubes, companion cells. Okay. Next is the phloem parenchyma, and the fourth part is phloem fibers. Okay, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Clear? So sieve tube, it is living. Okay, companion cell living. Okay, it is living, and the phloem fiber is dead. So except phloem fiber, all the part is living. Now what is sieve tubes? Sieve tubes, so we'll see in detail. Sieve tubes having no nucleus. Okay, it is living. B, no nucleus is present. Okay, helps in the transportation Second is companion cell. Companion cell. Companion cell. Companion cells are also living cells. They have nucleus. They have nucleus, and companion cell helps the sieve tubes for the transportation of food. What is the function? Helps sieve tubes. Okay, helps sieve tubes to transport food. Okay, and third is after sieve tube and companion cell, the third is phloem parenchyma. Okay, phloem parenchyma. Third is phloem so it is also living and its main function is storage of food. Storage of food. And last is xylem fibrous. The last is xylem fibrous. Xylem fibrous. So it is dead due to deposition of lignin and suberin. And the most important point, it is found in the husk of present in the husk of coconut. Okay, husk of the coconut. Okay, or covering of seeds vascular bundles. Okay, so xylem fibers are dead in nature. Why it is dead in nature? Because deposition of lignin and suberin. It is found in the husk of coconut. Coconut, नारियल का जो कचरा होता है पीछे, okay, that is the husk of coconut, and in the covering of seeds vascular bundle. This is the xylem. Okay, this is about the phloem. Okay, so phloem fiber, it is phloem fibers. Okay, phloem fiber is dead due to the deposition of lignin and suberin present in the husk of coconut and covering of seeds vascular bundle. So this is all about the plant cell or plant tissues. Now in the next lecture we will finish animal tissues and the chapter will get over. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood.